With the NIL, just because I thought of it, were you able to benefit from any of that at all when you were in college?
I did, but for me specifically, there was no way I could juggle like taking NIL super seriously, taking academics super seriously, and softball. So I think it just depends on like what you can handle, but I was like, I can't deal with all that. I need to like focus on school and softball. And there were some awesome opportunities that I did go through with, but like in terms of checking my DMs for brand deals and stuff like that, I was like, I cannot do this right now.
Did some of the players that you play with, was that like that they did kind of were able to leverage that and really, that's kind of neat. Did they have to go after it themselves, or was it more it was just kind of coming to them and they were accepting opportunities?
Yeah, I think it was a good mix. You know, some people will kind of take the route of an influencer while they're playing and really like show the behind the scenes, which people love. And that gives them good opportunities. For me in college, I didn't really like post things like that. And I just played, and that was kind of my brand, is
right. Play. You're
playing.
play.
But I think both are great, and there's a lot of opportunities with NIL, so that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for
what
men.
do you think? What do you think about NIL? People have.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think, like anything, my opinion is that it could have problems, you know, but you know, I think the biggest concern is, you know, taking away the stuff that you were just talking about, the stuff that you loved about Washington, you know, as far as the team, the all playing for each other, versus, you know, maybe to get exposure so that you can make money on this thing over here. I guess that would be the concern. But I still think it's good because I think like, especially, you know, men's sports, these football teams and all these, they're making so much money. And I feel like if people are making money off your name, you've earned the right to get a cut of that.
Right.
I think that's fair.
It's,
you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like, it's not like rocket science. I mean, again, I do think there's some things that come along with it that I don't necessarily love, but ultimately, you know, I think you've earned the right. If you know, if there's jerseys that are going with your name on it and they're selling them, like, well, that's my name. Like I should get some benefit from that.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I think if there was two people in a room, one was super pro NIL and the other person hated it and they went at it, I would be like, yeah, from both sides, just going back and forth. Because I think there's really no like map for it, you know?
Yeah. I think that we're gonna, you know, over these next, because obviously some of these, they're getting paid a lot of money, right? And I think it also creates a lot of villains, quote unquote. Like I think of in football, and like there's some guys that are getting paid like crazy amounts of money, and now people, because they know they're making tons of money. When you're in professional sports and people make tons of money, that's how people dislike you if you don't perform well. And like, there's this other element. It's like, well, you're making X, Y, Z, you should be doing this. I think that's going to come down to the college level, which is, which I'm not sure is great for, you know, young college athletes to be put underneath that scrutiny. But because the NIL, now they are. I mean, I think it was Deion Sanders is his son. They were just talking about that, and Deion was kind of like scolding the reporters, is like saying, hey, this guy's he's not a professional. Yeah, you do this to professionals. You could criticize. You know, my son's not a professional. He's a college athlete. And part of me, like, I understand what he's saying, but the other part of me is like, well, he's getting paid like professional. Right. You know, so does that open him up to now have the same scrutiny that, you know, if you are, you know, any type of big time NFL player, that's going to get the same scrutiny if he throws an interception, that, you know, like, are you now opening yourself up to that? And I'm not sure college athletes I don't know, is that a good thing for them to be put under? Again, I still think the pros way out for more than NIL. I would still always lean towards that, but I do think it creates a lot of other potential issues. Right. One of those, that one being one of them. For sure. You know? I think it's wild, honestly. Like, it's just such a untamed beast. It NIL. Is. They're just like, oh, you can get paid now. Woo! Okay, we're out. Like some of these people are getting like Lamborghinis or rolling up to class in Lamborghinis. It's crazy. You know? I think it'll end up working itself out. the other thing is the people who are really being affected, it's such a small percentage. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think we get people all the time reach out to us for, you know, for NIL deals. It's like, hey, you know, I'm going to so-and-so school. You know, I'm looking for, you know, just opportunities for businesses and it, you know, and it's great. And we're flattered by that. And we're, you know, honestly, but I mean, that kid's not making $1 million
right.
from the NIL.
Yeah.
But how cool of a benefit for him if he does partner with a company and he's getting some free stuff, he's getting a benefit from it. He's not being penalized from NCAA because of that. Like, that's a cool thing too,
for
right?
sure.
So even the issues that I see, I still think the issues are for such a small percentage.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that was maybe, I mean, I don't know. I don't work for NCAA, but I think that was the goal to be like, look, if you want a little extra something like for your local like family food place in your university town, like whatever.
Yeah.
Or like a free bat or free whatever. I think maybe that was the goal, but because there was no like maybe like rules necessarily, it kind of got crazy. But I think what's crazy is like the portal and NIL conversation together, like people transferring because they're not getting enough money or whatever. That's an interesting conversation.
Did you see that one? I didn't read the full article, but that football player that transferred like mid-season, there was a football player. I can't think of the name of the school.
It was a quarterback.
Quarterback,
right?
yeah. He like transferred like within like first 3 or 4 games of the season. He transferred because he said that like he didn't get the amount of money that he was owed in NIL or something along those lines, like transfer middle. So again, there's another issue that wasn't there before NIL, you know, and you know, it's an interesting thing.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
And then also I think I saw something of Dave Portnoy said he's like, I'll give X amount of dollars for Michigan to have, you know, to win a championship every year to a quarterback. Like, you know, basically I'll just give whatever it is. Cause then you got people like that. They're alumni of a school and they'll say, hey, listen, they're successful. I'll open up the checkbook.
Yeah.
And ultimately again, I mean, it's cool for a kid to be able to have that opportunity. And it's still such a small percentage of kids that are actually getting that opportunity.
Right.
And the ones that do, they're probably good enough to deserve it, you know? But if you're on that team and that kid's getting, you know, $3 million or whatever it is, and you're trying to get, you know, a free glove from someone, you know, is there any resentment towards the kid that's getting $3 million? How does that do to a team culture? I don't know. I guess unless you're in, you know, I've been a long time since I've been in a college locker room, and it wasn't there when I was there, and my school wasn't going to be doing it anyway. So it definitely is an interesting conversation. I think overall, though, I think it's a net positive.
For sure.
I think it's a good thing for players. If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content valuable.